Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to ASI Radio. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Hands up. Who's ready for spring?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Everybody?
Please.
Everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have quite a cast of characters here today.
Yes, we do. What happened to all the regulars?
They're cycling out. My
They're
dream.
playing
My
hooky
dream.
again.
Again.
Yeah.
With us today, we have a special guest. We have Teresa Heigl, who is Hegel. Is that how you
Hegel.
say it? Why don't I know that?
Hey, gal.
Way to go, Michelle!
This is
things
probably
are
the
off to
most
a
she and I.
flying start.
This is the most she and I have ever spoken. Probably. Welcome to the radio show.
Thank you.
And you are the senior writer for Stitches.
Senior writer for Stitches and Wearables.
Great, and congratulations, because you were nominated for how many Neil Awards now?
The whole
Oh,
show.
100.
The whole show.
Good for you. That's awesome. So we're happy to have you with us. Next to her, we have a very feisty Chris Ruvo today.
He's like
how much coffee have
He's
you
on
had?
something.
I had a few. Just a few. A couple double espressos in there.
And Chris works with Kathy Houston, the editor of Advantages Magazine. Hi, Kath.
Hi, and Chris is also up for a Neil Award.
You are?
Yes,
for
for
which
his-
article?
Well, I've already won a couple, so it's really not a big deal for me this time of year. For a section I do called Sales Boost. In
Good for you.
Advantages. Yeah.
Good for
Super
you.
excited.
As always, we have Lauren Medina, and as Joe Haley calls him, Facebook Vinny Driscoll with us. Hi, Vinny. So, welcome to the show. Kathy's going to give us a rundown of the topics. Kath?
Yeah, okay, well, we're going to have a call-in segment. What are some ideas for creating an employee awards program? And I'm sure we'll have some great ideas for you. I'm going to tell you how to avoid being a Kanye at work.
I can't wait to hear that.
Kanye.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Being a Kanye?
Yeah.
No, that's
You're a
bad
total
thing.
Bad thing.
Yes.
Is it okay?
word that begins with D and ends with K.
Right. Joe is
Oh, I
supposed to
thought you
talk
were going to
about
say
this.
a word because with D and ends with oosh.
Well, actually,
I like that better.
Actually, the guy who wrote the column shortens it to D-back. Don't be a Kanye. So it does start with D and end with a K. Joe was supposed to be here, but he's not. So Chris is going to talk about should managers organize fun at work. We'll
So
wait.
you mean should it be like forced fun, manufactured fun?
Yeah, manufacturing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm sure we'll have a good discussion on that. I'll tell you how to make better, faster decisions. Michelle will ask is the open office trend destroying the workplace? And
Oh, no, that's
Is it-
me.
oh, that's you.
Yeah.
That's Teresa Hegel.
Hegel.
How do you say it? Tell me.
Rhymes with bagel.
Oh, good way to, okay.
And then, of course, we will present our favorite things.
Yes, well, thank you for that. And first up, we have our dear friend Leighton Lee, who's going to talk to us. Have you guys heard of, do you know what Lumber Liquidators is? Have you
Yeah.
seen this
Yeah.
commercial?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They got in some trouble recently with some laminated wood issues. So our friend Leighton is going to talk to us for the Product Safety Minute about issues with laminated wood, because there are some products in this industry that are constructed of that material. So, hey there, Leighton.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's staying warm or trying to stay warm anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah, Michelle, you were very right in your intro of today's Product Safety Minute. Lumber Liquidators got slammed on a 60-minute segment on Sunday night, and I'm sure some of you caught it. Since that bit was shown Sunday night, the stock of Lumber Liquidators, which is one of the fastest-growing retailers, especially in the home improvement segment, in recent years, and their stock tumbled more than 25% yesterday
Wow.
at the opening of
That's
trading.
staggering. Yeah.
Huge, huge. So this is just an example of how an impact, how a company's reputation and brand can be impacted by product safety issues. Anyways, with that said, they have sold millions and millions and millions of boxes of laminated wood flooring, essentially like the Pergo flooring that some of us know so well. And that wood is essentially fiberboard that is compressed and layered with adhesives, so it creates more of a plywood-type look and greater strength. That adhesive contains formaldehyde. And the segment went on and tried to expose that factories in China knowingly made the flooring material with cheaper adhesives that contain high levels of formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is a known carcinogen. It is regulated here in the state of California under the California Air Resources Board regulation, and any wood products that are sold in California that are made of fiberboard or compressed wood, particle board, or glued-on laminated layers must pass the California CARB formaldehyde regulations. Now, how does this impact our industry? Because that's really the whole crux of this product safety minute. We sell a lot of different wood products that are laminated together. It could be chopping blocks, cutting boards, kitchen accessories such as cheese boards, fruit boards, and things like that. Wood desk accessories. I've seen a lot of that on the internet, and some of our friends in the industry might sell branded desk accessories that are also made of glued, laminated wood accessories for desk toys, business card holders, pen sets, and stuff like that. So we all have to be very careful. What do we do to protect ourselves with CARB, as well as future federal regulations that are coming on down soon regulating this area? Always go to your supplier and always check to make sure that they have the proper certificates to show that it meets the California regulations for formaldehyde, especially if you know that product may end up in California. Always get the test reports and the certification from the third-party lab that it does meet the formaldehyde regulations, along with all the other CPSIA things that we've talked about for several years now on this show. So be careful out there, both literally and figuratively. And by the way, if you have any lumber liquidators flooring in your house, it's most dangerous when there are small children in the house, because it's more of a vapor rather than a toxic chemical that you can come in contact with. It's the formaldehyde odors and emissions that could cause respiratory issues, skin issues, as well as a carcinogen. There will be more announcements coming down with regard to corrective actions. There's a consumer group that is trying to force lumber liquidators to repair or replace all those floors. By the way, this is only the flooring material made in China that was sold by lumber liquidators. On that note, you folks have a great week. We'll talk in 7 days, okay?
Thank you,
Thanks,
Lee.
Lee.
And
Thanks.
that's amazing. Well, if there was ever an argument for why people need to do their due diligence when it comes to product safety, there it is. I mean, that just took it out of company down by its
Seriously.
knees.
Yeah.
25% down.
Yeah.
That's
and
incredible.
they're looking at a lot worse, it sounds like. 'Cause
Yeah.
I mean, they're open to all kinds of lawsuits now. You would think, and especially if tighter federal regulations grow out of this, then there'll be even more serious, I would think, financial repercussions for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, now we're going to address our topic of the day, and that is how to craft an effective employee awards program. And this came about because I was talking to a distributor friend of mine, and she has a client, and she was having a challenge with it because the staff is comprised of a couple different generations, some boomers, some Gen Xers, some millennials. The problem is, or the challenge, is that those generations are motivated differently, and how to kind of address the whole team, but really speak to what's going to motivate people, because you want to make them happy. You're giving them more, what's going to, do the best job at, achieving that goal. So first on the line, we have Claire on line 4.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Claire.
Thanks for taking my call. So I just had a quick question for you. One of my clients, their staff is mainly millennials. So traditional awards aren't really their thing, doesn't really fit them. So do you have any suggestions for something that's more age appropriate? Because they're being congratulated for reaching goals and exceeding expectations. Do you have any suggestions for me?
Yeah, definitely.
We look to the millennials.
I think right from the get-go, tech products is a good way to go. I just saw one I'm going to talk about a little later today called the Pop Socket from iClick, and you could stay tuned for that. It's perfect product that's compatible with mobile devices. That and T-shirts, believe it or not, because T-shirts are huge.
No,
but
I believe that.
T-shirts with kind of like with clever messaging, slogans, kind of maybe slightly quirky or offbeat graphics. I think go a long way, because it's something that'll get worn and is kind of perceived as like cool and like in the know, I guess. Yeah.
And I guess if you're going with T-shirts, you would want to make sure they were not like the boxy kind of like cheap kind of T-shirts. You want the ones that are fitted or are a little bit more higher end that people would want to wear.
Okay. Well, I hope that helps, Claire. Good
Great,
luck.
thank you.
Sure. And next on line 3, we have Milton.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, I want to ask. I mean, this may be similar, but I am a big fan of traditional awards. I like them. I think they work. But I do have some high performing people on my staff, and I'm curious about some other tangible suggestions besides just the humongous traditional awards that I can use.
Well, you could give them a traditional award that they could keep on their desk or at home to commemorate the event. But also you can present like a catalog of ideas of different levels of prizes, different things that would appeal to individual tastes.
That's a good idea. We do that here. Actually, one of our colleagues, Hillary Glenn, just celebrated her 15 years with the company, and she got one of those catalogs, and they're tiered, they're staggered for how many years you've been with the company. 5, 10, it's a completely different catalog depending on the year. And I was surprised by the breadth of product selection. I mean, there was high-end bicycles, jewelry, artwork.
You could even have your portrait painted.
Naturally, that's the one Kathy selected.
By you?
She makes me hang it in my cubicle. I have to pray to it each
Worship
morning.
Kathy.
Never mind.
Kathy's tyrannical rule.
But I would say too, in addition to that, you could you could even directly talk to them about what they might like, because I think sometimes we almost get a little too caught up with this person's a millennial and this person's a baby.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
So like if I don't know the size of your company, but if it's a small enough place to where you have like personal relationships with a lot of these people, you can just directly ask them, hey Jen, like what would you be interested in receiving?
Let's do a quick poll here, including Vinny and Lauren. Hands up. Would you prefer a tangible award or money? Tangible award.
Oh, jeez.
Money.
Yeah, no, I'd want money just because I have 2 kids. So.
So everybody in the room said money except me, I think. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have kids,
maybe something
if you have
about them,
kids,
'cause I like
money.
the idea of if you have kids, money, of keeping something that they can keep on their desk.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
so. The traditional awards are great because you want everybody to know that you've been recognized.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
I think you should have something a little more personal too.
But my God, make it attractive. I mean, I got an award. That's one of the ugliest things I've ever seen in my life, and it sits in Melinda's drawer. I wouldn't even keep it in my office. So I just gave it to her because it's an atrocity, an aesthetic atrocity.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Milton.
All right, thanks, guys.
And we have some Facebook comments here. Adam Brown from Motivator says it's important for every employee to feel like they have a chance at being recognized, as opposed to one big award, say the Employee of the Month. It may be more effective to do something for each department or have different levels of recognition. What do you think of that?
I think that's a great idea. Yeah. Everybody should feel like they're getting recognized because everybody contributes. It's not just one person that's the big hero every month.
Even fun awards. Like I like what we did. We had a retreat this year
Yeah,
where we
that was
gave,
great.
the best cheerleader award, the best
The Kim Kardashian.
the Kim
selfie.
Kardashian
Yeah.
selfie award.
Yeah.
Yeah, who got that? Nicole, I think.
Nicole did.
Ronder, yeah.
Yeah.
Undisputed champion. Of
Yes.
Yes, of the selfie.
Yeah.
The duck face selfie.
Yes.
Bev Napersky says, we encourage distributors to use name badges as a piece of their recognition programs. Years of service are a great addition to a name badge. Oh, I see what she means. Like, I
She
guess if
means
you work
like-
in a factory or whatever, and
Right.
it says, 25 years of service.
Yeah.
So you could have one that says,
A million years of service and loving it every
a
day.
symbol staff members can wear every day. That's nice. Then Eric Campbell says, first, a tip. No matter what awards program you want to initiate, if it doesn't come on the heels of a decent wage, a chance at autonomy, and a drive towards individual mastery, and a sense of overarching purpose, it can't really provide a lasting motivation. Boy, isn't that right?
I love that chance of autonomy one.
Do you, Kat?
Yeah, I do.
That said, Eric says, I think there are ways to supplement a workplace that has these characteristics with an awards program. I'd wager that recognition items coupled with purposeful donations or classes, materials that address an employee's desire toward mastery would be well received. What sort of examples of motivational awards do we like? He would like to know.
I like what ASI does. I think the president, counselor, whoever buys tickets, group tickets for box seats and stuff, and from time to time they'll send you an email and say, thank you for your outstanding work. Here's 2 tickets to the Flyers or whatever. Something like that is nice. And of course they can personalize it or present a logoed product in addition to that, like put the tickets in a mug or something. I don't know. But I think that works very well.
Yeah. I like the idea of somebody did this as a Christmas or a holiday gift. It was Mark Ziskin from CSE, but I like the idea of maybe rewarding somebody by making a donation in their honor.
Yeah, they did that this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we all got to
We
pick.
could
There were
pick-
5 charities.
Right.
Actually, I think we all picked different ones, which
Yeah.
was interesting.
I
I
don't
picked the
remember
pet
what-
one.
I think I picked the hunger.
Yeah. Yeah,
because
but
I
I
was
just thought it was a
hungry.
neat because you were hungry. I just thought that's a neat idea.
Because what's so cool about that and why that is such a good, in addition to just being like, it positions them as like, we're a company that cares, or
Right.
I'm a person who
Right.
cares.
Absolutely.
It's goodwill all
and I
around.
want to care about what you care about and contribute to a meaningful cause that's
Right.
meaningful to you.
Yeah, that
It's
was
just
an
such a
excellent,
smart
excellent
move.
thing.
Yeah. So
Way to go,
maybe
Mark, if you're
that's a
listening.
smart way to do it. Well, if anyone else has any questions, you can always email the host. You can email Kathy, myself, Chris, or Teresa Hagel, that rhymes with bagel, at ASI. But right now we're going to take a break and listen to our sponsor of the show, ASI Education.
At ASI, we know that education is the key to success, so we're excited to announce our newly reimagined online learning center. Log in and test the all-new intuitive interface. Share photos, stories, and communicate with other ASI members who are learning along with you. Expand your knowledge with wikis, discussion boards, and more than 350 courses, which include valuable marketing and sales information. And for your convenience, the Online Learning Center now uses a single sign-on access like your other ASI services. Best of all, it's free. Become an industry expert and see what's new on the ASI Online Learning Center at www.asicentral.com/online learning.
Well, hey, guys.
Hey.
So last week at Facebook Vinnie Driscoll's request, and much to my chagrin, we posted as I would perhaps say, a cockamamie question on Facebook about pets. But what's interesting is that the pet market is, do you believe it was $59 billion in 2014?
I believe it.
I believe
Easily.
it.
$59 billion.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's insane. And it's expected to go up, I think, 5% this year. So it's just
Yeah,
ever
it's just
growing.
right.
So we asked people to post photos, and we said we were going to acknowledge the winner of, and people could, what do you do on Facebook? Like? Is that what it is? Really? Okay. The most adorable pet. And overwhelmingly, the winner was Marco. And Marco he's
Aw.
deaf. And he's
Aw.
an American Bulldog boxer mix, a rescue dog. And he loves watching things that move out the window, much like Joe Haley. Playing outside and being a shadow to his human mommy and daddy. And he's in this photo that we're going to post on our website. And he's got a little tie on. He's got a little.
Aww.
It's like the cutest thing.
Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah, so his mom's name is Mercedes Murtaugh, and this is Marco. So Marco was the winner. So we're going to send her a $25 gift card.
I'd
So
clap
cute.
for him, but he wouldn't hear it.
Yeah.
Kathy Houston, tell us about Kanye. Do we
All
like
right.
Kanye or do we not like Kanye?
I do not. I do not.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you like Kanye?
Not
No.
really.
I don't know what anything.
I mean, some of his music's good, but you know, he married Kim Kardashian, so there you go. And he named his daughter Northwest. So there you go again.
Nori, they call her Nori, right?
Nori, yeah, she's adorable, but he's not so adorable. Anyway, after the Grammy Awards, I'm sure we're all aware of the comments he made about the musician Beck winning Best Album of the Year, because he beat out, among others, Beyonce, who Kanye seems to have a thing for, because he's always coming to her defense. So he went on a post-awards rant and said, if they want real artists to keep coming back, they need to stop playing with us. Beck needs to respect artistry, and he should give his award to Beyonce. Oh, snap, Kanye. So the business lesson here is to have a little humility, be a decent human being, and maybe even a bit more hip. You could say, don't be a Kanye or D-back for short, as I told you all in the beginning. Rappers' sore loser approach and unwillingness to celebrate another artist's achievement is off-putting. And transfer this to the kind of attitude to a regular work environment, and you have people who get bitter about a coworker's promotion or form cliques that let jealousy and envy divide a workplace. So don't be a Kanye. Also, another famous person teaching us a workplace lesson is Vice President Joe Biden, who's been photographed being very touchy-feely of late.
Yeah.
And let that be a lesson. Be respectful of people's personal boundaries. And finally, Brian Wilson. We all know what happened to him. He over-exaggerated or misrepresented his time in Iraq.
Wait, Brian Williams.
Williams.
I think
I
Brian
was like the
Wilson was a
Beach
Beach
Boys.
Boy. Yeah.
No, Brian Williams.
You said Wilson.
Yeah, Brian
Brian-
Williams. Did I say Brian Wilson? Brian Williams. I must have Beach Boys on my mind because of this snow. Anyway, he lied about his experience that his military helicopter came under fire when it didn't. And other tales that he's told over the years have since been called into question. So the workplace here is simple. Don't lie ever, never, ever, ever. So don't be like those three. Learn your lesson, people. All right, Chris?
Well,
All right.
Thanks, Kath.
You're welcome.
And now we're going to go to Teresa. Teresa's going to talk to us about Richard Branson. I love Richard Branson, as opposed to Kanye West. I do love Richard Branson.
Okay. I thought I was talking about the open office. Or is that?
That's later on.
Oh, that's later on. Okay.
You can talk about that if you want, though. It doesn't matter. Whichever you're more comfortable with.
I got Richard.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, it's basically, Richard Branson, some of the quotes that he has that kind of are applicable to, everyone. So basically, a big one is listen more than you talk.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody learned anything by hearing themselves speak, which I think is a big one. People always like to, talk and talk and talk, but you're definitely going to learn more from listening. I mean, I know that as a reporter, you just want to, get people's stories and hear what they have to tell you, but you can't just be talking the whole time. Another thing is start making suggestions for how to improve your workplace. Don't be a shrinking violet, quietly getting your job done adequately. Be bold, and the sky is the limit. So, I think a lot of people, and sometimes they say, I think women too have this problem of, thinking you just have to be a hard worker, put your head down and, get the work done, but you're not going to get recognized if you don't actually make suggestions. And, sometimes it's hard to make the suggestions because you're afraid people are going to be like, oh, that's the stupidest idea ever. And, why, I don't know, you have that fear of like, putting yourself out there. But if you have a good idea, you should share it because it'll make the whole workplace better.
I never have that fear because I always assume everyone's an idiot. Like, I just always
That's a
assume
good
that they're
premise
dumb.
to work
So what?
That's a good good
Yeah.
attitude.
So picture everyone as an idiot.
Right.
That's not one of his quotes, but
Well, it should
That's
be.
Michelle Pell's quote.
Well, it's just on that point. I remember talking to actually one of Michelle's friends, Cindy Jorgensen, who's VP of Sales at Brown and Bigelow, and she said that one of the best advice she ever got was just don't be afraid to prospect, to make suggestions, to put yourself out there if you think that there's a chance that something might work, because if it doesn't, so what? You never had that anyway. You're not losing anything. It's just not something that panned out. So then you try something else.
Yeah.
well, and it also helps to be at a workplace that supports that. There's definitely some places where people work where they don't want to hear your opinions.
Sure.
So it's good to have a place. It's good to be open to any kind of idea. And I guess that goes back to rewards too. Sometimes if you have a good idea and get rewarded for it, you might be more likely to, suggest something else in the future. So let's see, another good quote. To be a real entrepreneur, you always have to be looking forward. The moment you rest on your laurels is the moment your competition overtakes you. So, yeah, that's definitely a good one for any entrepreneur, any business person is, you may have won an award. You may have won a Neil in the past, but that doesn't mean you're going to win one this year. So,
Yeah, Chris.
Right.
You gotta.
Oh, humble pie, you taste so good.
So.
I follow him on Twitter, and he talks a lot, Richard Branson, about embracing failure, and he encourages his team to try, and if they fail, that's okay, and he celebrates that. And I think that's a crucial difference between him and maybe some other CEOs. They're also afraid of, their team making a mistake or doing that. And he just loves it. I mean, he's always touting, oh, we failed again, but here's what we learned.
Right.
Yeah.
that's
Let's
great.
see. One more good one. Let's see. When most people think about taking a risk, they associate it with negative connotations when really they should view it as a positive opportunity. Believe in yourself and back yourself to come out on top. Whether that means studying a course to enable a change of direction, taking up an entry-level position on a career ladder you want to be a part of, or starting your own business, you'll never know if you don't give it a try. So that kind of goes back to your point of if you fail,
Yep.
at least you're trying something.
I think that's great. Chris, I'm going to jump around to yours because I'm fascinated by this topic of marketing myths that make millennials hate your brand.
Oh, sure.
I'm
All
dying
right.
to know.
Yeah. All right. So rather than give it to you as myth, I'm going to give it to you as things that maybe you should avoid doing. So you want to avoid relying heavily on gimmicks or discounts, because there's a sense among, I think, a lot of millennials that they're inherently suspicious of a salesy approach. And in given their what would be the word, their capability with internet, or they're going to do research, they're going to look around. So they a lot of times will perceive gimmicks, discounts, coupons, freebies as a sign that your product might not be that good. So avoid relying heavily on that. Another one is you want to avoid, this might seem counterintuitive, but you want to avoid so-called millennial offerings. And a good example of this would be subcompact cars. A lot of car makers are really have been marketing subcompacts to millennials. And apparently they didn't do heck of a lot of market research before they started doing that, because a number of studies have now shown that millennials are not especially interested in subcompact cars. They're more interested in mid-sized cars and entry-level luxury models. So the takeaway for our industry is, don't assume you know what the taste is and try to impose that taste, but rather, as you would with any buyer, try to get to know that buyer's tastes and what their particular interests are, and then kind of work from there. Mm-hmm. Another thing is that, if I'm on, we have to be on social media because that's where the millennials are, which is true. You do have to have a presence on social media, but it's all about the type of presence that you have. You want to have a social media presence that's not bland and mundane, but rather you want to post interesting content that's valuable, funny, interesting, and entertaining. And humor does go a long way to resonating with this audience, but it can't be strained, and it can't be like, hey, I'm like the old guy at the party trying to be hip here, you want to make sure that it's actually funny and relatable. So those are a few things to keep in mind as you try to market your services to millennials.
That's great. Thank you.
Yep.
Do we love the open office trend without the wall?
Well, we have offices, so I would not like an open office. They have open office.
I didn't like it when our walls came down in the hall. Yeah. Teresa, talk to us about that, this new trend. I mean, I think it was kicked off, correct me if I'm wrong, by Silicon Valley. Was it Google?
I think it's like Google and all of them. They've made it very hip and cool.
So no walls, right? No offices.
Right. It's basically like you work at a table like this, I guess. So they say, I guess about 70% of U.S. offices have low or no walls. I mean, I guess, we have high walls. Yeah. So it's almost, you can still hear, what everyone's saying next to you. And like, I have someone that I sit next to who likes to sing every Friday.
Chuck.
Chuck, yeah. Really? So, yeah, he sings. He sings all the time.
You're kidding.
No, he puts his headphones on.
I don't even think he knows he does it, actually, until we told him that. Yeah, he sings every Friday. But, yeah, so it can be very distracting. People managers like it because it minimizes costs. You don't need to have a whole bunch of different offices. They can spy on you better. They can see whether you're like looking at Facebook. You can't be looking at porn. You can't, Like everyone can see what you're doing.
Hear that, Chris?
Yeah, right. It's very
what am I going to do from 3 to 4 now every day?
Right. Right. So they, and they think it promotes like camaraderie. Everyone can exchange ideas and whatnot. So, to an extent it does, but then it also, the downside is that, people get frustrated by having to hear what everyone's doing, having to hear the singing or this or that. So it damages attention span. It, hurts productivity, creative thinking, satisfaction, and it can, increase illness, I guess, just from everyone coughing on each other.
I never thought of that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, a 2013 study found that many workers in open offices are frustrated by the distractions. Nearly half of them, didn't like the lack of sound privacy. More than 30% complained about the lack of visual privacy. And basically, you're just not getting things done because you're talking to everyone. So if you want to have an open office, I guess that what they say is you should have more areas in your office where there's private areas, not like fishbowl areas, but like actual private areas that people can kind of escape to. Or signs like putting on headphones, like "Don't bother me." Or just let people work from home, I guess, is the other thing. So
could you imagine if we all worked at a table? First of all, people would kill Joe and I.
Oh, yes. Agreed.
No. I just don't think it would be conducive in our office.
No, it wouldn't.
Because we're all on the phone so much doing interviews.
Yeah. And that would be so horrible.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Okay. My big thing with it is I feel like it's like it's almost like a big brother watching you kind of concept that's veiled as this new age touchy feeling. Oh, we're all going to get together. No, you just want to see if I'm doing my work.
It's like a lack of trust in the employee. Like if you trust me, you don't need to be watching what I'm doing.
I'm not the biggest fan, but
well, we're going to wrap up with our favorite things of the week, our favorite products, and Teresa, I let you off the hook for doing this, but Kath, we're going to start with you.
Okay, so mine is for health and fitness related clients, or like awareness walks and health fairs. The water dumbbell from AP Specialties, ASI 30208. It's a water bottle, but when it's filled, it's also shaped like a dumbbell, so it's also a dumbbell. It's pretty cool. So suggested for all those health initiatives. That's
I
it.
enjoyed that.
Raising the roof.
Yeah, man.
Mr. Ruvo.
All right, mine is I think I mentioned this before, the pop socket. It's basically what it does is it sticks to the back of phones, tablets, or mobile cases, but then you can extend it, and it will basically become a stand for that mobile device, or you could also use it as like a grip while you're texting. So it's pretty cool, and of course it can be branded, and it's prime real estate there on mobile phones because everybody has them. The product is from iClick, and they're ASI 62124.
Great. And mine is from Gemline, which is ASI 56070, and it is this reversible tote. And on one side, it's just, a canvas tote, but on the inside, it's got kind of inspirational graphics. So
that's cool.
why did I picture in my head like yoga classes or like an in-store giveaway for Whole Foods?
Yeah, right.
Crazy
That's
people.
what it sounds like.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Teresa and Chris, thank you for sitting in this week. And we'll be back in some incarnation next week.